Dayton will once again be in the international spotlight when members of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, come here to the Miami Valley. Dayton Congressman Mike Turner invited members of the group, and he joins us live this morning for more on what it means for the area. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how did this whole thing come about? How did you encourage NATO to come here?
Well, I've been appointed by Speaker Boehner to be the head of the U.S. delegation to the NATO Parliamentary Assembly, which is an assembly of the parliaments of the NATO countries. This has been my first year, and in the first year, I invited them to come to Dayton, Ohio, so we could showcase Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. They could see what's important that's done here, and we could continue the important dialogue that the NATO PA has had.
And any special trips? You said they're going to go to Wright-Patt. Any dinners planned? What will they do while they're there in town, and how long will they be here?
Well, we're going to showcase three things. One, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, its work with NATO, NATO countries, both in intelligence and in equipment, research and development. Our aviation heritage, they're going to go and see the Wright brothers plane. We're going to take them out to Caroline Park. And then also we're going to highlight Dayton's role in the Dayton Peace Accords. We're going to look at the Balkans and the area there of what still needs to be done to ensure peace in Europe.
And how many people are we talking, and how long is their trip?
It's going to be about 40 parliamentarians from throughout Europe that will be coming here and learning firsthand not only what Wright-Patterson Air Force Base does, but why it's here and what the Wright brothers did to make certain that we have this advanced Air Force Base here in our backyard.
Interesting conversation, I'm sure, when you sit down for some of those leaders who will probably come to the Dayton area for the first time in their lives.
Right, and they'll be very surprised, I think, because many of the operations of the Air Force that they're familiar with, they don't know happen at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. They're dependent upon the intelligence gathering there. Certainly foreign sales of Air Force equipment occurs out of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, but they're just not familiar with the fact that we have this large, extensive facility here. And
speaking of Wright-Patt, we just reported a few moments ago that Wright-Patt is losing jobs and CSC is losing jobs, 300 total. What does this mean for that area, and what could be done to kind of make sure those people find additional work?
Sure. Well, one thing, these are cuts that are happening across the Department of Defense, across the country. And in fact, they're a net number. There's actually about 500 jobs that are at risk, but we're actually gaining an additional 300 as other communities are losing. They're moving some operations and consolidating them at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So we're having some jobs that are moving here at the same time that some jobs are being eliminated. That bodes well because we're continuing to have Wright-Patt being chosen as a receiver site as other places downsize. Those new missions have an opportunity to grow in the future. But certainly we want to be very concerned about those individuals who are in positions and how we might be eliminated, and how we might be able to move them to others where there are growth opportunities.
Is there any new development going on out there, any new business that you know specifically go into that area that you can talk about?
Well, Wright-Patt continues to have opportunities for growth, even as we look to the President's efforts to overall cut in defense spending, cuts that I think are ill-placed. But I do think that overall, as we continue to support Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, that there are opportunities to grow that can pick up perhaps some of the areas our losses.
All right, Congressman Mike Turner, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.